Hey, Pinky. That's a great I think yeah, Pinky is an Elton John song. Pretty good song.
It does make me look at if I go over here in the green, does it make me look less pink?
No, you're pretty pink. I
I
wonder what that
can't help it. Hey,
means.
it's another Botanic Garden flower shot because I know how much you like floral shots. I thought that would make you happy. Oh my goodness. So how you been, by the way? No, here's what my ¿Cómo está, Frijoli? How you been? Okay. Come on. Dan used to always say that. I say that to my Spanish speaking friends at church and they crack up. Anyways, so how you been?
uh,
What a start. What a start.
I
Okay,
think
let's get right into it.
I think we should just erase this one.
You don't want to do that.
No, no.
Okay. Why would we do that? We've never done it yet. Have we ever done it? I don't think we've ever started over. People are sitting there going, no, seriously, start over on this one. So, what do you got on your mind today?
What holds us back?
Uh, Seriously, you want a list? Oh my gosh, yeah. What holds us back? From what? From just making photographs?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're trying to achieve, and that whole would go into the discussion of why do we create and how do you
Yep.
define success for yourself. But all of us probably have in our minds the type of photographer or the type of images we would like to create. And what's holding us back?
Well, yeah, well, in a recent episode, I said how the rules, I realized the rules on that, that plant leaf that I had the water drops on. I mean, that was what was in my head. And I had to get through that, so that was holding me back. And comparison has certainly been a problem for me on occasion, still can be. I lecture about it all the time, and then, out at the garden conference once again, I think Tony showed me a an infrared shot, and I just about fell over. It was so incredible, and I probably said something like, "Well, crap, I'll never make an image like that." And then one of the participants looked at me and said, "You're comparing, John. I thought you told us not to do that." I did, and it's those lectures are for me as much as they are for you. But certainly that comparison can get in the way. I don't know if that's what you're talking about here or not, but those are a couple that come to my mind.
I think that we hold ourselves back more than anything else.
Hmm.
And as I talk to people, they are always comparing and thinking that they have less than what others have.
Yeah.
Less creativity, as our friend Roger would
Yep.
express. But I really do believe that most of the restrictions are self placed.
Yeah.
We don't think we're creative, and that's a big one. I talked to so many people like myself who got into photography because they thought they didn't have any creative abilities, and
Yep.
that photography was more of I don't know, a technical art rather than a creative art.
Hmm.
And if they could just learn certain rules and certain techniques, they could be, in a sense, creative, kind of a false creative in their minds. But I really do believe that we all have the ability to be wonderfully creative. It doesn't matter. First of all, you can't quantify how much creativity you have. Roger would say, well, you've got more creativity than I do.
Yeah.
How would we ever quantify that?
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
my belief is that whatever amount you have, it is enough, but you've got to start believing it
Yeah.
because we hold ourselves back.
Wow, I just had an epiphany there. My first lecture and probably still my most popular is Dream, Believe, Create. And the whole point of that is helping Nancy Rotenberg help me to dream about what I wanted my photography to be. And then the key was she was the one who helped me believe because I kept on saying, Nancy, I can't even draw a stick figure. And she was like, what's that got to do with anything about your creativity? So it's exactly what you're saying, right? I was holding myself back because I had this, I mean, really serious feeling that I was not creative because I couldn't draw a stick figure. And it was Nancy that helped me realize that was false. That was absolutely faulty thinking. And I really needed to believe and embrace the fact. And then guess what happened? The creative part became way easier once I actually believed that, you know what, actually, I can make good images. And they're good. And then I think you hit the one that I started out with and that you amplified is that comparison one is the one that can really be hard to get over.
I think that I remember that movie about Picasso, the one that I had recommended a while back.
Yeah. What was that?
And it brought out that he had never sold but one painting in his lifetime, and that was to his brother. I'm imagining he might have had self doubts,
Oh my gosh. How
and
could
yet,
you not?
yeah, and so for us, of course, and how dare us compare ourselves to a Picasso?
Yeah.
But we've got just as much potential as a Picasso or any other famous artist.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it, you certainly won't ever get there.
Yeah. And,
Uh,
and and that's the key. If you so get back to your question, you're holding yourself back. If that's your belief, how do you go forward from there?
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't, I think, is the point, right? You go
And, and
forward.
and when we focus on the rules and on techniques and styles and all of the technical stuff, photography, it's so easy to fall into. I think that, I don't know, it's like a diversion. Instead of addressing the real issue, being more creative, we can spend our time on learning that new app or that new program or that new technique. And that's easy. It's concrete. I can understand it. I can apply it.
Yeah.
Creativity's fuzzy and it's hard to grasp onto. Now, another thought I had is I didn't start becoming what I would call creative until I found my vision. And for me, that was a critical part of being
Yeah.
more creative. So in my mind, creativity and vision are somehow they're connected. I don't know exactly how.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to continue that search for their vision.
Yeah, well, I think that's really critical. I'm glad we'll end up on that thought because it is a vision, as you say, vision everything. Vision drives your rule of thirds, right? Vision is a third, the tripping the shutter is the next third, and then the processing is the next third. And when you think, I love that because when you think about that rule of thirds, it has nothing to do with the style or all those other things that you just mentioned. It has to do with being vision driven. And if we are truly expressive photographers trying to express ourselves, we shouldn't care what anybody else thinks about it. Again,
It's hard not to care,
oh,
and I
easy
think
to say.
probably a pretty good reason that if you're really trying to be more creative and more vision driven, you might take a break from social media.
Yeah.
Because if you do something and you put yourself out there and try to be more creative, and then you get a bunch of nasty comments,
Ugh,
we're pretty,
doesn't help.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
As human as you are, I mean, or as good as you are, rather, at thinking that you can let it go, I don't believe that.
well,
It has
it's,
an impact.
yeah, some of it's avoidance. You just avoid the critics. Why hang around people who are going to be critical of your efforts to be more
Right,
creative?
right. All right. Hey, just as a tease, in our next show, we're going to talk about kind of a continuation of this, where you're going to talk about answering that question that you get quite often, which is, if you're doing this work for you, why do you share your work? So we'll talk about that next, folks. So stick around for the next show. Thanks for following along.